Alright, so I'm pretty overdue for a review. I haven't done one in like 2 or 3 weeks. I was looking through the figures I have, mostly Transformers, and I was thinking, what can I review? Maybe something that I'm probably not going to keep. Maybe something that I remember more fondly of as a child than I do as an adult, but hey, I found Huffer here from the Power Core Combiners line. Not a lot of people tend to remember the Power Core Combiners section, or the portion of the Transformers, I guess 2010 line, and for good reason. To be fair, this is one of the, I guess, not so bad ones. And for those of you who don't know anything about Power Core Combiners, a quick history. So during the year of 2010, there was a lot of weird stuff in Transformers. There was a main toy line that didn't really have a name. It was just Transformers. That was kind of connected to the live-action movie line, but not really. And so Power Core Combiners was kind of like a weird subline that was going on there. There was also like Reveal the Shield, which is another subline or something. Yeah, a lot of weird name tags. So one of them was Power Core Combiners, which was a wave of little Scout class figures that transformed into vehicles and robots. It also had a torso mode that can connect four different vehicle drones for limbs for a giant super mode, or a little minicon for like weaponizer. You got all that, a lot of stuff packed in there, and it was a total failure. We're gonna look at one of the figures as I adjust my camera real quick. We are going to look at one of the figures that was not a total failure. That actually has some merit to it. This is Huffer here. He is a tan with some blue accents truck, just basically just like G1 Huffer. This is basically like a live-action Michael Bay version of what G1 Huffer would look like. It's kind of like, I don't think this is the same model that Optimus Prime was in those movies. I'm not sure, but it is a pretty cool looking truck. The truck itself is fine. It's mostly a tan, yellowish brown color with some black and some blue tint on the windows. Notice the front hood here. On some of the earliest pressings, or I guess pressing is the right word, I don't know, you get the drift. The earliest versions of this figure, though, this front hood here was actually painted a much darker orange, and it stood out completely. If you go back and watch old reviews from like MGO or like Optibotimus or like some of those old those like old YouTube Transformer reviews, go back and watch their Huffer review back from like 2010. You'll notice even they have like the orange one version. I think most later pressings fixed it, and I'm lucky enough to have one of the later pressings that did fix it, so I'm good. But yeah, the older pressings had the front hood here was all orange and stuff, but thankfully I have a corrected version. Got an Autobot symbol on the side, some molded in detailing, like some weird, I guess, dots or stuff you'd see on a real-life truck. Smokestacks painted in silver, nice. Front grille, headlights, silver grille. If you look closely, you can see some exposed robot mode parts. I mean, there's his robot mode thighs, and there's the back of his head. But at this size, it's inevitable. Wheels roll. Got some nice painted wheels, or not painted, but the molded in detailing on the wheels. On the back, this weird kind of block thing, which in reality it's his robot mode arms, but they just kind of it at least looks like something. There are figures that just put the robot mode arms in the back. Cough, cough, Energon Optimus, but I mean, this one does a better job at it. How fast does it roll? Rolls okay, not too bad of a roll. Pretty nice. Now, one thing you will notice, giant blue pegs sticking out the back. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem, but there's a reason for it, and we'll get into the gimmick of the Power Core Combiners toy line. Yeah, but I mean, the way they just stick out in vehicle mode, it looks very awkward. Now we're going to get into the gimmicks, and this is where Power Core Combiners falls apart. See, there are two types, as I mentioned earlier. There's the 5-packs and the 2-packs. Huffer here was a 2-pack. in the 2-packs came with a little minicon. This is Caliburst. He is a robot. I guess we'll zoom in on his head here, first of all. Nice little face. But he's a minicon, and so basically he has a single robot mode and then three other kind of like weapon modes that stem from this. Now, before I talk about Caliburst anymore, you notice a problem? Take a look at it. Do you notice a problem with this? Now, if you're a Transformers collector and you're in the community, you know exactly what's wrong with this. But if you're not, let me tell you something. See this blue? See how it's all blue and stuff? Yeah, he's made out of translucent plastic. For those who don't know, translucent plastic is very brittle and breaks over time. This is a 12-year-old figure, and I'm surprised he's not completely shattered yet, but he will be one day. As you can see, there's translucent plastic near the joints where his knees are, and on the back, where his port is to plug onto Huffer, you can see that's already cracking. And then the knees here, all that stress of having to move his knees for articulation and transformation, that's caused some cracking and stress. No, this is not because I took poor care of him as a child. This is because translucent plastic is naturally brittle and it's going to just naturally break itself one day, no matter how good you take care of it. Anyone who has owned Animated Swindle knows this. Anyone who has owned Beast Machines Optimus Primal knows this. It is a disaster. Anyway, surprisingly, mine, for being a toy that's 12 years old, is still in somewhat good condition. Arms still rotate up and down, but that's all you get, just up and down movement. He's got a huge cannon. Like, look at that cannon. That's pretty cool looking cannon, I'm not gonna lie. You can just, it fires under his arms, so you can just kind of go like this. I don't know, pretty cool. Ball jointed hips, and then the knees are a 90 degree, and so yeah, he's a minicon, so he has pretty much no range of motion. But yeah, almost every single PCC minicon was made entirely of translucent plastic. It looks cool in the packaging. It looks cool because it looks like the main figure is getting like a weird Energon power-up, but yeah, it does not last. It does not stand the test of time. Surprisingly enough, I'm surprised mine will, but it will break. The reason I am reviewing this figure, this set now, is because if I save it for later, it might not exist later. So might as well get out of the way now because it will break one day. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so he has, Caliburst here has 3 different weapon modes. First one is vehicle weapon mode. So in order to turn him into that, to basically rotate these weird gear pieces sticking out behind him. Kind of like that, and that just kind of nicely folds in on itself. Split the legs up, rotate the legs this way, and then fold it back. And that is a vehicle weapon drone. That's what the instructions call it. If you leave it by itself, it kind of looks like a weird Cybertronian tank, which is pretty cool. But it sticks on the back here, and you just plug it in, and the instructions tell you to face it this way, but you can easily face it forward too. So now Huffer has a gun that he can shoot down Decepticons or something. I mean, it's not a bad feature. It looks pretty cool. You can just roll, and then Caliburst will be just like boom, 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 or whatever. And does it face the other way too? Yeah, it faces the other way. So you can just kind of drive like that. See, that's not a bad feature. That in itself is not too bad, too harmless. Doesn't sacrifice most of the toy, except for I just wish the minicon wasn't made out of freaking translucent plastic. But we'll turn Caliburst back into his normal mode for now. And I'll sip my water, and then we'll turn Huffer there into robot mode. Yeah, okay, so first off, unpeg these. It's like a 5-step transformation, like literally, it's like the easiest transformation in the world. And then this splits and clicks up down here, unpeg the legs, fold the arms down, rotate the forearms around, and then lift up the head. And we'll stand up Huffer here. And there we go. So here is Huffer in his robot mode, and the first thing we'll do is take a look at that head sculpt. I kind of okay with it. I'm okay with it. I mean, it's got a kind of like a silver sunglass visor vibe, some blue around the mouth to make it out, kind of little horns. Not too bad. I'm okay with it. Pretty cool looking. First thing you'll notice is there's a lot more blue in this mold, you know, just like G1 Huffer did. There's kind of like this navy blue around here, and you got a red Autobot symbol this time. Some more exposed silver on his forearms here, and I like the way the forearms themselves are molded in. He's kind of got these weird, excuse me, like claw mechanical hands, which I think is a nice touch. You got the, yeah, legs, some molding detailing, not enough painted stuff, some inside material, that'll be for a transformation we'll get to later, but this is pretty much Huffer. Here it is from the back, here it is from the front. All around, Huffer himself, not that bad of a guy. Articulation, heads on a ball joint, it can go all the way around and kind of look up, but not really. Arms are on a ball joint, but there's not a lot of room in there, so it's kind of tight when you, not a lot in between. It can either go straight forward or straight down, and like that's it. Go out, then go straight up. He has a double elbow, so he's got a hinge there, and a ball jointed elbow, so he can move all around, and no hand movement. Move his arm that way. No waist movement, legs back and forth, outward, and then the knee. He's swiveled the knee, and then a 90-degree knee bend, and no feet articulation. So articulation's standard for a Scout class figure from 2010. And he falls over. Speaking of falling over, I'm surprised he's somewhat more stable, because remember these blue pegs that I complained about in vehicle mode? Well, in this mode, they act as heels, so he can stand and won't fall over, which is kind of funny how that works out. Oh, actually kind of works out in the end. So I expect the Transformer to sacrifice one thing to make another mode work. And that's an example of kind of like a necessary evil. But yeah, it's pretty much, that's all Huffer can do in robot mode, and we'll get to another mode later. He has a torso mode. So first we'll take Caliburst here. Now Caliburst's second mode is a robot weapon, where you flip this over, you flip this out, lift his left arm up, turn this around, and then bring the arm back down, and then close it in. So basically same thing as vehicle, except the gun's facing the opposite direction, and then just kind of bend the knees up, and that's it. I don't know what kind of noise is going outside, hopefully you can't hear that. But that is a vehicle weapon, and yeah, this is the problem. A lot of the Power Core Combiner minicons, their weapon modes just kind of look like the robot doing weird yoga poses. I mean, this one does it a little better, but there's some, trust me, there are some really bad ones. Just look them up yourself. But yeah, he goes on the underside here, and he Huffer can use him as a gun. He uses him as a gun. Pew pew bang bang, which looks fine in and of itself. The problem is my Huffer, the ball joints at the elbow are really loose. I mean, like, look at that. They will not stand, so yeah, I need to probably push him nail polish or take him to Goodwill, because I don't even know if I like this figure. He's not bad, but no, don't do that. No, stay. We're dealing with Scout class articulation here, so not the best, could be better, but I mean, It's not horrible. I've seen worse. All right, now let's go on to the. Well, there's another mode. Hold on. Yeah, I'll just do the other modes as well. So, Huffer is a triple changer. All of these Scout class figures in Paracord were triple changers, and the Minicons are quadruple changers. There's a lot of stuff going on in this toy line. So basically, we have a. Yeah, are you keeping your head on straight? There's a lot of stuff going on in the toy line. So Huffer here has a vehicle mode, a robot mode, and a torso mode. So you can form a torso of a larger robot. So what you do is you flip the head down, take these arms, and bend them upward, and then kind of peg them into place right about... Shoot. Don't bend the camera. Yeah, like that. And then do the same thing here. Just kind of bend them in like that, and then they peg in at such an awkward angle. So like that. And then you flip down, when you flip up these blue pegs, flip down the blue pegs on the legs, and then split them like that. And then back here, on the back here, open up the trunk or the hood, and then there's a head, and then the head flips up, and there you go. This is torso mode. First things first, take a look at the head. Pretty menacing head. Kind of looks more like a Decepticon head than an Autobot, which is figured and seen how it was repainted into crankcase, which I'll review next. And it's got some yellow horns. Blue light piping's really good. I mean, good light piping, so I'll give it credit for that. Silver face, I kind of dig it. But, yeah, this is just a torso mode, and if you own any other Paracord Combiner figures, or any 5-pack from the line, then you can take the vehicle-only drones and click them on, and make them a giant super walking robot. That was the gimmick of PCC right there. And trust me, I will be reviewing the next Paracord Combiners figure that is a 5-pack. That'll be my next review. But keep them in torso mode. The other mode that Caliburst has is a armor mode. So you flip these out, flip the arm up, flip the arm up. The instructions tell you to have the gun out facing that way, so I'll go ahead and do it. Bend the knees backwards. Break his knees, and then hide his head with them. That is armor mode. And as you can see, there is a Minicon peg in his chest. Flip it out. There you go. Plug on the Minicon, and voila, armor mode. Or as I like to call it, better you than me mode. Now again, the instructions tell you to have the gun facing outward, but I have seen some people have it facing inward, and some people think that looks better. I'm okay with both. I kind of like having the idea of like the armor also doubles as a weapon, so more firepower is good. But yeah, fun things first, you can actually leave him there while you turn Huffer back into his normal robot mode. You just put all this crap down, move this out of the way. So just flip up those heels again, and bring down those arms, lift up the head. And so he can still use this in his normal robot mode too. It's just very awkward looking. So yeah, that's Huffer and Caliburst from Paracord Combiners. Again, Paracord Combiners is a line that did not age well. It was not that popular with fans, and I don't know if it sold. I think it sold okay, but there were way better stuff in 2010. I mean, that was the year of like that Hunt for the Decepticons solo line, and that was also the year there were some still Revenge of the Fallen figures you could have gotten back then, and there was even also that was the start of like the first edition of the Transformers Prime toy line. So yeah. there was way better stuff on shelves in 2010 than power chord combiners. Now this set is not terrible, but there are some that are. If you want Huffer and Caliburst, fine. Do I recommend them? Not really. I probably won't even keep buying, well, one, because this guy won't even survive another 5 years, just the way he's naturally built. And Huffer himself is just kind of okay. He's not really special, but I am not done with power chord combiners yet. The next review will be of a 5-pack in its crankcase. So I will show you what the 5-packs are like. You know the 2-packs are like. So next review, I will show you what the 5-packs were like, and they are something. If you have not seen a power chord combiners 5-pack in its full-on super mode, you are in for a treat, let me tell you.